Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Hipsters Curtain Calls. This is your host, Jamil Hassan. This is the Crypto Hipsters Curtain Calls, episode 33. The title of this episode is Rain on the Scarecrow? How to build Web3 gaming solutions that sustain the original ethos of the blockchain industry and bypass bankers' bloodthirsty greed to destroy it all. This podcast it's a compilation of 5 podcasts. Normally I do 4. This is from 5 podcasts from season 6 through 8. 5 amazing interviews. We're all related to gaming. And so let's describe the interviews, the guests, what we talked about, and then we will get into the clips for each of these episodes. All my episodes, by the way, can be found on Spotify, Apple, Anchor, anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. So this particular episode, the first person I spoke with is David Johansson. I spoke to him in season 6. He's the CEO, co-founder, and creative director of BLOCKLORDS. We talked in February 2024. We talked about slaying the bear and building the future of sustainable Web3 strategy gaming. The second interview of this podcast, of this compilation, was from season 7, where I spoke to Tomer Pascal in May of 2024. He is the CEO and co-founder of OwnPlay, and we talked about transforming normies into degens with progressive web app games. The next 3 were all from season 8, and they were all within 1 week of one another. So they came in a batch of 3. The first person I spoke with, then the third in this compilation, Timothy Tello, who was the co-founder, who was the CEO and founder of Ethics, 3Fix. It's spelled 3, number 3, Thix. It's Ethics, pronounced Ethics. How to transform the gaming and advertising industries with decentralized payment solutions. Decentralized payment solutions. Next, I spoke with Ilman Shazhaev the very next day. So Timothy was March 8 and Ilman was March 9. Ilman is the founder and CEO of Dizzaract. We talked about creating a world development gaming studio at the intersection of blockchain and AI. And the 5th person I spoke with is the head of developer relations at ZKcandy. We talked on March 16 of 2025, creating a fun, ultimate playground for gamers to unlock Web3 experiences. All these together, right now there's been a lot of back and forth in the U.S. on regulations where the bankers have tried to control things. And we all believe in the future of Web3. And let's get back to the original ethos, especially in gaming. This title of this podcast, episode 33 of the Crypto Hipsters Curtain Calls, is Rain on the Scarecrow? How to build Web3 gaming solutions that sustain the original ethos of the blockchain industry and bypass bankers' bloodthirsty greed to destroy it all. Enjoy this episode. Check it out. All the original podcasts are available if you want to learn more. I look forward to bringing you episode 34 next time. And that one, we're going to dive into NFTs. And they are still very much alive, both gaming and NFTs and Web3. Let's keep the ethos going. Thank you for tuning in. Talk to you soon. You're trying to build sustainability. So from the player perspective, how would a player join this? Your game sounds really cool. How would the player join your gaming ecosystem and then see for them that they are supported in building that sustainability and bringing sustainability to the game.
Yeah. So, you know, we're still early in the process. This version of BlockLore has been in active development since 2022. And the game has been live in early access for about 5 months now. So the easiest way to get involved is really to go on the Epic Game Store, download the game. It's entirely free. You can start playing for free. You can start collecting resources for free. You can start building out your farm and your base for free, right? What we've decided, because the scope of the entire game, like I mentioned earlier, that's extremely ambitious. First, we have the farming, then we have the fighting, then we have the ruling, then we have the conquest, and we have so many features in mind and that we're planning and building out. But yeah, I mean that if you want to be a part of this ecosystem, it's really about playing the game. Just the fact that you're playing the game gives us data that we can analyze and improve the game with. But you know, if you want to go a step further, you can join the community. In the community, you'll meet a lot of like-minded players. A lot of them are starting to, you know, fraction into different guilds and different clans and different regions, because again, the lord and lady that you serve, even as a peasant, is gonna have a power struggle of their own, right? And for now, there's not much to do except rule your region and farm inside of the region. But as we're adding battles, so this year there's two very big beats. We're adding the stronghold battles, and we're adding the dynasty system. So the stronghold battles, and when you'll start being able to build armies, go attack others, you know, go steal resources, go fight for land, fight for resources. All of that is happening this year, and that's really when it starts becoming a game changer, right? Because for now, everybody's been focused on farming and then taking care of their own business, right? But soon you're going to be able to grieve others and to protect others from attacks as well. And then we have the dynasty system. And the dynasty system is all about politics, power struggle, and building the ultimate family. And this is, we haven't talked so much about Web3, right? I've been talking mostly about gaming. But on the Web3 side, definitely one part that we're innovating on is the dynasty system, where our heroes are NFTs. Your NFTs are basically characters that have a name, they have a look, they have special skills and traits, they have different abilities. That's essentially somewhat unique. It's randomly generated for many of them. Some heroes are actually entirely unique. They're trading for about, you know, $20,000. There's been like a lot of demand for them on the market, but there's only 50 of them or 60 of them that exist for now. And on the lower end side, you have the farmers. They're mass produced, they're mass generated. There's many thousands of them. They're trading for about $3 or $4, right? And the prices can always vary. You know, we don't really control what the market decides for that. But what's going to happen when we activate the dynasty system is that the clock will start ticking for all of these NFT heroes. These thousands of NFT heroes, both rich and poor, they will start getting older and they will start dying, right? And because you're going to soon die, what do you need to do? You need to get married, you need to have kids, and you need to kind of build a legacy that's going to be reflected with your in-game power, right? And that'll be the dynasty system, which is also coming this year.
So you're looking to transition normies into degens, right?
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to achieve that transformation? And why wouldn't we? I mean, do you see a world of degens playing your game, or how do you make that switch? How do you help them get there?
Yeah, so for the degens, why would the degen play our game? I think that's actually an easier question to answer, right? We're not shying away that kind of like the benefit of a Web3 game is the potential financial upside for a player. And the emphasis is on the potential. It cannot be something that is promised to everyone. So that's where we are shying away from the play to earn mechanism. I think that it's building the wrong expectations. It can't be that any player, everybody here is going to earn. It just can't. That's not sustainable, right? But on the other end, the ownership aspect opens up the possibility, the hustle of trading your assets, whether they are NFTs or fungible tokens, right? It's the same mechanism. So we want to enable this and kind of like it's built into the game. Trading buildings, a building is a tool to generate game income, and it's a tradable asset by itself. And so will be to other future unlocks of tokens and things like that. So for the degens, I think that it's kind of like it's more clear. They will see the metrics immediately. They are already seeing it before the game is ready. They are all automatically assuming what are the features that we're going to have in our launch version, and many of them are correct about this. So it's very intuitive for them, right? The idea of renting buildings, buying buildings, owning a portfolio of buildings, all of this stuff for them makes perfect sense. The normies, I think, is where the challenge comes. And we are insisting on, in our game, having the two collide, right? So we didn't want to have a game that is accessible only for normies and sorry, for degens. And obviously that we didn't want to make a game only for normies because that's Web 2 and we don't want to be there. So from our point of view, how we're converting normies. One is start from the top of the funnel of the marketing side. We're not marketing to them a Web3 game. In the future, probably the general point of view of crypto would be better. But for now, for the normies, if you're coming to them with, hey, here's a crypto game, a Web3 game, whatever blockchain lingo word, they are kind of like they think it's a scam and they're out. We can all argue that shouldn't be the case. It doesn't really matter. That's the case for now. Will change in the future, but not today. So, but on the other end, we don't want to market it as a Web 2 game because it's not smart from our end. So, as I mentioned in our game, and I recommend it for all of the other Web3 games, we are recommending the, part of the tradable assets. In our case, it's the buildings, the dream of owning a building in Manhattan or Dubai later on, or Paris, and, playing this pretend game. But there is real money to be made here, right? Kind of like it's yours. And if you sell it, the money that you make is real money. I can't promise that you'll be able to find the right buyer, the right price. That's up to you, but you can do it, right? So that's the dream that's driving the Web 2 people into the game.
Got it. That sounds good. So I'm thinking the use of AI is important here, and what you'll be able to do then is, especially like from remote parts of the world, is you'll be able to assign an identity to people who you're dealing business with, right? What breakthroughs are going to be possible now using AI that were not, present with just only blockchain, but now the combination of two enables? What does it enable, and how do you, what's your role making that improvement and happen?
So I think that this is another one of those things that people assume is new, right? When we talk about AI, it's kind of funny to me that so many people are scared of AI, like it's a new thing. AI and machine learning have been around for a very long time, extremely long time. And I think it's also important to understand what AI is. It's essentially assumption models, right? If A plus B equals C, then you tell that to the machine, and it reminds everybody that the answer is C. So think of it like this: if 100 people took a test, and 90% of those people said the answer to question 1 was A, right? And then 7% said B, and then the last few percent said C and D. When you ask that question to, say, Chat GPT, it would tell you the answer is A, but it gives you the option at the bottom saying, well, this answer's not good enough. Oh, it might be B. So AI isn't really AI. What's happening is it's using assumption models based on the most approved selection. And so, we're not taking AI and we're creating something new with blockchain. We're taking blockchain and adding AI. And so for us, like, we're taking all the receipts from what you buy in a video game, or what you buy through our payment processing to on-ramp and off-ramp from crypto, what you're buying through our partners. We're looking at all that information, and then we're applying it to AI models and machine learning models to create lookalikes, to create data lakes, to create, assumption models. So, they've proven that they could take your last 5 credit card transactions on Visa's network, and with a deviation of about 3, they can figure out what your credit score is just looking at your last 5 transactions, because they can compare it to everybody else in the Visa network who's had similar 5 transactions. What were their credit scores? What do we know about them? So with a blindfolded, they can look at it and say, oh, his credit score is a 720, just off of these 5 transactions. That's how good AI and machine learning is. So when you get down to the consumption level, and not your personal information, not your age, sex, or location, but what do you buy, right? If I bought a flight to Miami, you probably need some swim shorts. You probably need flip-flops. You probably need these things because that's what everyone else who went to Miami, that's what they did next. And so when you understand those things, you understand how to advertise better. So then the advertising goes up. Now you go to your favorite flip-flop store, or you go to you go to Billabong to get a pair of swim trunks, and you pop on their website because you saw their ad, and they say, hey, you got $12 in Billabong rewards for seeing our ad, and you can use that. The chances of you buying something increases from 2% to like 80%. And then I charge them a referral fee.
That I understand. But that number you just put out there is a little disconcerting, right? 30 to 40% global reduction in the workforce, right? Not everybody's going to have time to play games or build games. And not everybody's going to learn how to use AI agents. So what are they going to do?
I think for like, doesn't matter how big AI will grow, there is no way AI will replace human creativity. That's never gonna happen. And if you will be able to combine first your creativity and use AI as a tool, I think you will always have a work to do. And here you come to my area and the products I build, and my answer is simple. The products like we build, where you can play, when you can own your assets and you can monetize them, having fun and monetization. This is the next step for the guys who will be laid off, and anyone who don't want 9-to-5 job and just want, in our current virtual world, to be efficient and having fun. So yeah, this is exactly our vision, and having those products available for the incoming years for the market.
So you see an influx into the creator economy. You see a growth in solopreneurs and entrepreneurs, and then immersive gameplay, which also means you're creating immersive worlds, which means the metaverse, right? So the term we haven't really talked about in a while in this industry, but it's still out there, right? The metaverse. How do you see, the benefits of AI across that gamut of blockchain, DeFi, metaverse, et cetera, solopreneurship?
I think there is always two kind of guys, right? One kind is who is proactive, right? And another one, first one who is leading, another one is led by someone, right? Who is the following. So for the following guys, I have bad news, but the guys who is leading the process, leading their lives, for sure AI will be as a tool. And today it is as a tool, right? And you need to be smart enough to manage that, to don't let it lead you, right? Having influence on you and on your opinions or whatever. For example, even today with ChatGPT, you have conversations, you take his answers as a primary answers, right? For your life, for your whatever you do, for your work. So I think we need to be very conscious and sensitive about it, what we allow to influence to ourselves from AI, right? And yeah, otherwise, I think all good to use it as a tool and have faster and better development of yourself and your business.
I have a question regarding blockchain and technology, or blockchain and ZKcandy. So the role of blockchain so far, to me, in gaming seems to has not worked, right?
Yeah.
Why has it not? Why has it not worked? and what do we got to do to make it work?
I really like how you word this question because it's grounded in reality, It's grounded in the reality that it has not worked. Because, for the last 3-4 years as an observer, a user, and also a gamer myself, I have been swamped with the social media and also the marketing that's full of buzzwords, full of promises. So we know in this realm of Web3 what is possible. True digital ownership is possible, censorship resistance, and such things like, having the ability to not get kicked out of a server or a game and have all your inventory go poof the next day, either sometimes through no fault of your own. We know this. It's a fact that this is what Web3 brings to the table. But it's like Web3 has brought the ingredients to the table, but who's cooking? Nobody's cooking. We know that's ingredients on the table. We all point to it. We've got the best and freshest ingredients in the whole world when it comes to gaming, yet no one's cooking with it. And therefore, I think I actually was on a previous conversation about this on another podcast where people have asked me, why don't I think it has succeeded? And I think it's because, I even said at risk of losing my job, but also because I think we've been catering a lot to some of the, groups that have claimed to serve as catalysts, as big, innovation drivers in this scene, but have actually been the ones that have, put the factory into overdrive and caused it all to come crashing down. What I do mean by this primarily is something called the guild system or the scholar system, basically in Web3 games, where it turns gaming into a bit of a sweatshop, One of the key terms that comes out of Web3 gaming is play to earn. So that means, it's the dream, isn't it? I wake up, I play games, I earn money, but when people started to, commodify and financialize and turn this into a business in itself, you would then have people on servers in Discord sending resumes pertaining particularly to gaming, saying that, hey, I can play this game for 8 hours a day. I can earn you at least this many coins of this currency at this rate. And eventually it became a chore. And when you take the fun out of gaming, that's it. It's self-destruct. It completely collapses. And I think that's what happened on numerous occasions. And sometimes this is like, the bit of the sacrificial lamb in the story, because we are now looking at companies trying to see how we can beat this system, how we can, proceed forward, rebuild Web3 gaming with a better, approach to this. So, of course, here at ZKcandy, we are focusing on infrastructure. So, of course, the play-to-earn system isn't really our concern because we are primarily in this for gaming infrastructure, not so much the development of games ourselves. But we do have our own in-house games. So we want to lay groundwork and say that, hey, we want to find the projects that are pushing the envelope forward, not backwards in Web3 gaming, in order to see, hey, you have an innovative way of approaching something. I want to see it blossom. Let's give you the garden in order for that seed to blossom into something that can work better for Web3 gaming. As you know, we also have been through quite a big bear market in crypto, and this has been, in my words, and also in many people's words, a bear market is a builder's market. We've seen a lot of people building, a lot of people cooking various things on different levels, some with VC support, some with community support, some just on their own steam, which is amazing and fantastic. And that's why we want to make sure that this, as the bull market, which is expected, makes a resurgence, that we keep the blockchain affordable, we keep the blockchain accessible to these developers, these gamers, and these builders to bring this technology to the mass market, and in a way that it retains being a democratic and decentralized process, instead of rather than being, a game company spends so long building a decentralized game only to have guilds re-centralize it and turn it into a sweatshop again.